Okay, let's review adding 2, 3, and 4-digit numbers. So when you're adding 2, 3, or 4-digit numbers, you always start on the right side. Okay? So we're going to start on the right side and we're going to add. We're going to think, what's 6 plus 9? So 9 plus 6, if you count with your fingers, I don't know where you're at right now, if you could do it in your head, but if you add 6 plus 9, you get 15. Why? One thing that I do in my mind to be able to add when I can do it, I can add, it's easy to add a number to 10. So what I do is I grab one of the numbers from 6, right? That makes it 5. I grab one of them from 6, it makes the 6 5, and I add that one to the 9, that makes 10. So then I think in my head, what's 5 plus 10? 15. And that makes it easier for me to be able to add numbers. If I don't know if you can do that, but if you can, you should try it. It'll make it easier. It'll make it easier for you to be able to add numbers. So, 6 plus 9 is 15. I could do the same thing with the 5 and the 7. If I grab 3 from the 5 and add it to the 7, I get a 10. And then what I'm left with is 2. What's 10 plus 2? 12. And then I'm going to add this one. That's 13. And then what's 4 plus 1? 5. So my answer is 535. Here I could grab 2 from the 7, right? It makes it 5. And I add the 2 to the 8. That makes the 8 a 10. So what's 10 plus 5? It's 15. 6 plus 2 is easy. It's 8 because most of us learn how to count by twos at a very young age. So 6, what's the next one up? 6 plus 2 is 8. Plus 1 is 9. So we're going to add 9 here. There's nothing to carry because it's not a double-digit number, so there's nothing to carry. So then we just bring down the 3. Because there's nothing to add to the 3. There's basically a 0 here, right? There's basically a 0 here, so 3 plus 0 is 3. Again, I grab 1 from the 2 and I add it to the 9. So if I borrow 1 from the 2, the 2 becomes 1, and if I add it to the 9, the 9 becomes 10. So that's easy to add 10 plus 1, which is 11. So I carry the 1 from the 11. The 10's place, you carry it. And then here, I can add the 1 to the 4, which gives me 5. So 5 plus 5 is 10. And then 8 plus 1 is 9. So I get 901. It's easy for me to add 6 plus 4. My brain, because I've been doing this a lot, my brain tells me that 6 plus 4 is 10. So I carry the 1 from the 10. And then 7 plus 3, my brain tells me that 7 plus 3 is 10. As you do addition, your brain will do the same thing. It'll let you know, because you'll recognize this combination of numbers. And your brain will tell you, that's easy. 7 and 3 makes 10. And you'll automatically be able to just add it up in your brain. And then 6 plus 1 is 7. You add 3 and 2, that makes 5. 8, again, I grab 1 from the 8, right? I borrow 1 from the 8. The 8 becomes a 7, and I add that 1 that I borrowed from the 8 to the 9. And now I could add 7 and 10 really easily at 17. What's 5 plus 1? 6. Okay. 4 plus 9, again, I borrow 1 from the 4. The 4 becomes 3. That 1 that I borrow, I add to the 9. That 9 becomes 10, and I get 13. Because it's easy to add 10 plus 3, I get 13, so then I do 13. 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. I don't carry anything, so I just bring down the 9. 6 plus 2 is 8. 7 plus 3 is 10, and I have 2. Like if I borrow, I don't know if you're getting what I'm doing yet, but I'm going to do it one more time. If you don't get it, well, don't worry about it. Eventually you will. If you don't get it, just add however you know how to do it and however your brain works. As long as you get the right answer, that's what counts. So, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to borrow 3 from the 5. I'm going to add it to the 7. If I borrow 3 from the 5, that makes the 5 2. And if I add that 3 to the 7, that makes the 7 10. So now I got 10 plus 2 is 12. Okay, 8 plus 1 is 9. 5 plus 4 is 9. 9 times 2, right? Because it's 9 plus 9. Another way of saying 9 plus 9 is 9 times 2. 9 times 2 is 18. Put the 8 here, and then I carry the 1, I get 3. 0 plus 3 is 3. 9 plus 9 would be 18, right? But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend it's 9 plus 9. my brain already knows that 9 plus 9 is 18, but this is not 9. It's 1 less than 9, right? So then my answer is going to be 1 less than 18, which is 17. 5 plus 1 is 6. 3 plus 7 is 10. Again, I could grab this 1 up here and add it to the 9 first, and I get 10. 10 plus 3 is 13. 9 plus 1 is 10. 6 plus 7 is 13. I grabbed 3 from the 6, right? I borrowed 3 from the 6. That made the 6 a 3, and I added it to the 7. That turned the 7 into a 10. 10 plus 3 is 13. But I don't write it down. I do it in my head, and that helps me add easier. 8 plus 8 is 16. 16 plus 1 is 17. 5 plus 3 is 8 plus 1 is 9. 8 plus 1 is 9. 6 plus 2 is 8. Oops. Is 8. 9 plus 4 is 13. Again, I borrowed from the 4. I borrowed 1 from the 4. It became 3, and I added that 1 to the 9. The 9 became 10, so I get 13. Since there's nothing to carry, no number to carry to, I just put the 1 down here instead of carrying. Okay, 5 plus 8. I borrowed 2 from the 5. That makes it 3. And I add it to the 8. That gives me 10. So 10 plus 3 is 13. 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 plus 6 is 10. 3 plus 2 is 3. 7 plus 3 is 10. 4 plus 6 is 10. 7 plus 3 is 10. Plus 1 is 11. 6 plus 1 and 1 makes 2. So 6 plus 2 is 8. 5 plus 5 is 10. And this one's just 1 more than 5. So it's I'm going to add 1 to the answer, which is 11. 2 plus 2 is 4. 7 plus 7 is 14. Plus 1 is 15. 8 plus 3. 8 plus 2 is 10. And then I add the 1 that's left from the 3 and the 1 that's up here. That gives me 12. See, if I break them up like that, it makes it easier for my brain to add them, and I don't have to count on my fingers. I could just do it in my head. 9 plus 9 is 18. Well, the 8 is 1 less than 9, so I'm going to take 1 away from 18, and I get 17. 4 plus 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. 5 plus 1 is 6. Okay, let me explain something to you. With addition, it doesn't matter how you add it. If you do 3 plus 2 or 2 plus 3, you still get the same answer. So you could do 4 plus 6 or 6 plus 4, 7 plus 7 or 7 plus 7. Obviously, that one's the same. 9 plus 2 or 2 plus 9, it gives you the same answer. So if you notice when I'm doing it, sometimes I do 0 plus 8 and sometimes I do 8 plus 0. Whatever's easier for my brain, I do first, right? So here, it would be harder for me to do 3 plus 9. So I do 9 plus 3. I grab 1 from the 3, and I add it to the 9. I get 10, and then I add 2, which is 12. Right, 8 plus 0 is 8, 9 plus 3 is 12, and then I got 2 here, so I add 2 plus 4 is 6. 4 plus 6 is 10, 7 plus 7 is 14, plus 1 is 15, carry the 1, 9 plus 1 is 10, 10 plus 2 is 12. 6 plus 4 is 10, but 5 is 1 more than 4, so I'm going to add 1 more to 10, which gives me 11. 9 plus 1 is 10, plus 3 is 13. 8 plus 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11. 7 plus 3, all right? If I grab 3 from the 6 and I add it to 7, I get 10. That leaves me with 3, so it comes 13. 8 plus 8 is 16, plus 1 is 17. Carry the 1. 2 plus 3 is 5. Where do I get the 2 from? Well, I add these two ones together. Remember that, again, let me explain it a different way. It doesn't matter if you add the 3 and the 2 first, or the 5 and the 2 first, or the 3 and the 5 first. It doesn't matter which one you add up first. You're still going to get 10. Okay? So what I would do here, to make it easier for my brain, I would add, I don't know which ones you would add first, but I would add the 3 and the 2 first, and then that would become 5. right? And 5 plus 5 is 10. It's easier to do it for my brain. It makes it easier for my brain if I organize it that way. So let's finish this. 6 plus 9 is 7 plus 6 is 13. 8 plus 6 is 17 plus 1 is I'm sorry. 8 plus 8 is 16 plus 1 is 17. 3 plus 1 is, or 2 plus 3 is 5. Sorry, right, the 5. Okay. Knowing how to do addition, knowing how to do subtraction, knowing how to do multiplication, knowing how to do division means nothing if you cannot figure out a word problem by yourself. If you always have to ask your teacher to help you with the word problem, then everything you learn about addition, subtraction, multiplication means nothing. The reason you learn this stuff, the reason you learn addition, the reason you learn multiplication, the reason you learn division, the reason you learn subtraction, is so that you can do word problems. Okay? If you know how to add and subtract and multiply, but you can't do word problems, then you really don't know anything. Because that's why you learn that stuff, so you can do word problems. Because in life, in real life, that's all you're going to have. It's word problems. And you're going to use the things you learn about math to be able to solve the word problems. So avoid at all costs asking your teacher for help on word problems. Always try to figure it out on your own. Now, many kids, many students, when they see word problems, they freak out. Okay, but that's not going to be you. Okay, always think like this. It can only be 4 possible ways of solving. There can only be 4 possible ways of solving this word problem. I'm either going to use addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. Right? So if it's not addition, if the addition doesn't work, then it's going to be subtraction. If subtraction doesn't work, then it's going to be multiplication. If multiplication doesn't work, then it's going to be division. Use the one that makes the most sense to you, okay? Use the one that makes the most sense to you. So there's some key words that you can look for. There's some keywords that you can look for. And if you notice here, they put some words in bold print. They put those in bold print because those are some keywords. How many and altogether, that usually means that you're going to add. You're going to add everything because they want it all together. You get it? That's adding all together. So let's read the word problem. It says, a school's cook learned that she must prepare meals for 178 students in the first lunch and 126 students in the second shift. How many students' meals must she prepare altogether? So then that's pretty easy. You should know what you're going to do here. Altogether means we're going to add. You see how I did it both ways? Oops. You see how I did it both ways? It doesn't matter if you put the 126 on top or the 178 on top, or the 126 on the bottom and the 178 or on top, or whatever. It doesn't matter which one you put on top, which one you put on the bottom. With addition, with subtraction, it does matter, but with addition, it doesn't. So you're going to see that we're going to get the same answer with either problem. So 8 plus 6, I'm going to grab 2 from the 6. That makes 10. That leaves me with 4 up here. 10 plus 4 is 14. 2 plus 7 plus 1 is 10. And 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. 304. Now let's do this side. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to grab 2 from the 6 and add it to the 8. That gives me 10. And that leaves me with 4 down here. That's 14. 7 plus 3 is 10. And 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. So that's 304. 304. So how many meals did she have to cook altogether? She had to cook 304 meals, or prepare 304 meals. So that's your answer, 304. Put a box around it.